team news for tomorrow night?
Granit is still not ready. Kola is still not ready. We have the doubt with Bukayo and another few knocks that we got against Newcastle. So today is the day to assess how everybody is, if they can be fit for tomorrow, and then make the decision on the lineup and the squad.
Are you hopeful for Bukayo?
I am hopeful, but we don't know. Obviously, it's a really short turnaround, and the player has to be comfortable playing with a little injury, and let's see how it is today in training.
Mikel, I've just seen the footage of the robbery involving Gabriel. It's been a while since it happened, but what does it say about the character of Gabriel that he continued to play, and what was he like straight after it happened?
Yeah, obviously it's not a nice thing to go through when you have family involved and they are trying to access your own house. Gabi showed a lot of character. You see the reaction that he had straight away. Credit to the boy. And after that, he was fine. Obviously, he was shocked. Obviously, there are a few things that he wanted to change in his life to try to prevent those things happening, and the club give him all the support that it was needed to try to forget about the situation, learn from it, and move on.
I must ask you about the game, and how do you prepare for Manchester United, given all the changes that are happening at that club just now?
Well, you know what you expect when you play at that stadium in front of that crowd and with a team, a squad that probably is one of the most talented in the league. You know the situations you're going to face. It's very difficult tactically because you don't really know how they're going to prepare the game, the options that they can play, the formation that they can vary. So it's focused more in ourselves, what we have to do, and make sure the team is prepared to go in there and beat them.
But they also have Ralf Rangnick in place. Have you followed his career at all, and has he influenced you at all in how you manage?
Well, he's been one of the top coaches in every involvement he had in the game, not only in coaching. He's made some radical changes in some areas, and he's a really interesting person in football world, and a really interesting appointment for the club.
Just final one from me, Mikel. What is it about you at Manchester United? You've played them 3 times, 2 wins, a draw, 3 clean sheets. Can you take the history of those results and take confidence when you play them?
Well, the confidence is that we have to prepare the matches to win, and then we have to first of all respect the opponent that we're going to have in front of us, but at the end go with the mindset, with the confidence and the desire to go and win the game and have that belief straight away.
Thank you.
Thanks, Damish. George from BBC.
Mikel, hello. Did you watch the Manchester United-Chelsea game on Sunday? And do you expect them to be as defensive? Surely they won't be that defensive as they were against Chelsea at home, will they?
I don't know. Obviously, there are different games. You play in Chelsea away, and they had phases in the game. I don't think they were that defensive for the whole game. I think sometimes you want to do something against Chelsea with their ability, and you cannot do it because of the quality they have and the solution that they can find to every problem that you try to create to them. And I expect a very lively atmosphere and a team that really wants to come out.
Are you expecting Cristiano Ronaldo to start tomorrow?
I don't know. That's a manager's decision.
Just on your team, Bukayo, Saka, if you had to put a percentage chance on it, how fit do you think he could be?
Till I don't see him this morning on the pitch, pretty difficult to say that.
What do you know about Ralf Rangnick? You know a lot of people in football, have you ever watched one of his training sessions? Have you ever spoke to him personally? Have you ever met him before? What do you know about him?
I know people that has worked with him. I know people that has followed him a lot, and obviously we've done our research as well, obviously. And yes, a very extremely well-known person for what he's done in the game and what he wants to continue doing in the game.
And if you win at Old Trafford tomorrow, that sends a statement that top 4 is really on for your team, isn't it, this season?
When you win a bigger stadium and the form that we are at the moment, it gives more confidence. And another important game, but this is a long run.
Thanks, George. Thank you.
Ian, talk sport.
Hi, Miguel. You well?
Yeah.
Are you worried about the form of Aubameyang, especially away from home? He doesn't tend to score as many goals, and are you thinking maybe of moving him out wider?
Well, the form of Auba is always going to be related to the goals that he scores. He's doing many other things apart of scoring goals, but obviously we need that contribution because his goals are critical for our success, and that's been shown in the last few years when he's able to do that, and that has to be his aim, to continue to do all the things that he's doing, and then in the right moments put the ball in the net.
Is he an out-and-out number 9? And actually, at the club, it seems that a lot of your attacking players, the likes of Auba, Laca, even Martinelli, kind of prefer to be out wide rather than playing at what we traditionally think is a number 9 role.
I think with Laca is a little bit different. I think Laca is more comfortable playing there. Auba has played in both positions through his career. I think the formation that you played allows him more freedom and attack certain spaces more often, and the defensive duty changes a lot in one formation or the other as well, and it's something to consider depending on the players that you play alongside him.
If I'd have been sat here a year ago with you, which was obviously not possible, but if I had, and said that you're probably going to leave Kieran Tierney on the bench even though he's fit, you'd have thought I was mad because he was probably your best defender. At the moment though, he's struggling to get into left back because of the form of Tavares. How much has that been a real boost to you this season, that you've now got competition so that one of your best players can't even get in the team?
Well, that's the level that we want to achieve, that in every position we have players that they can perform at the highest level and that can complement each other but give you different qualities as well. Last year when we had the issue with Kieran, when he was out for a while as well, we have to invent and pair players in that position, and that's something that obviously we want to eradicate as much as possible. And that's why we made the decisions that we made in the summer to try to fulfill the gaps that we have and make the team stronger. It is only about that. And Kieran hasn't played in a lot of games because he was still injured, and in others because once Nuno played and he played well as well, I think he deserved the chance to continue playing.
And last one from me, I mean, you look at United's forward players, Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford, Cristiano Ronaldo, there's no way they should be having the poor season that they're having. Has it surprised you even, the fact that they haven't clicked and they're struggling, they've had to change a manager and they've had all the problems that they've had?
Well, it shows as well the competition and the league that we are involved, that any team can cause you problems, that is not as simple as putting names and numbers in there. That is much more than that. And undoubtedly the quality that they have, and you haven't mentioned another 3 or 4 of them that they can play in that position. It's incredible, and that's why that club has been so successful as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. George from PA?
Hi Mikel.
Hi.
You've had some really good results this season. Is the kind of one thing missing at the minute that win away to one of the so-called top 6 clubs?
Well, it is because we lost against City and we lost against Liverpool. It's true that we beat Leicester. That has been one of the teams in that range in recent years. But obviously, that's what we want, to go to any ground and have the confidence to go to any ground against the top teams and beat them.
Because you managed it at Man United last season, didn't you? I guess from your own point of view, is it doing that on a consistent basis?
Absolutely.
We'll get Arsenal to where you want.
And that's what we have to try to do. And it's not about doing it once. I think when we won last year, Arsenal didn't win there for 17 years. So obviously that cannot happen if we want to be at the top level.
And just funny for me, in terms of Ralph Rangnick, you mentioned people that that have worked with him. I believe Saka worked with him a little while ago. Have you spoken to him this week about what sort of...
We try to gather information to understand more as well what we expect. We don't know, we didn't really know he was going to be sitting on the bench, if he was taking training sessions. So in terms of the preparation, it was a little bit trickier than usual because you don't really know the influence that the new coach is going to have.
Cheers, George. Nick at the back.
Hi Mikel, nice to see you again.
Hi.
You mentioned Bukayo could even possibly play with an injury if he feels up to it. Are you at a stage where you might need to rest him, and Emil Smith-Rowe as well? They both played a lot of games, they're young. Would you like to rest them if possible?
Well, we're not going to risk our players if we believe that that can go obviously against us. Playing with an injury means that he had to leave the pitch, and when someone has to leave the pitch, I believe that he's injured. If not, is willing to continue. That injury can be 24 hours, 72 or a year. And Bukayo is really willing. He's been preparing the last 2 days because he wants to play, and let's see how he is.
He's such an important player now, isn't it? It'd be very difficult to leave him out many games.
It is very important, but as well you see the importance of Gabi when he came on. We have Nico there to play in that position. We have Eddie. We have many options that can fulfill that potential, and that's why players have to be ready when we need them to come in the team and make the impact.
After Gabi's goal, brilliant goal at the weekend, there'll be a lot of people wanting him to start, but is it best for him to be an impact substitute to build up his ability going into the new year when they go overs in the African nations?
I think it's part of the pathway, you know, and I understand that we want to play all the players, but we can only play 11 of them. We have such a young team, and we have to find the right pathway with the right timing within the pathway, because it can look in a very different way, and it's very clear what we want to do with Gabi, and his determination is absolutely top, and he will continue to do that.
At the moment, is he an impact substitute, if that's the right term, the best role for him?
He has the capacity to start games, no doubt about that.
Cheers, Nick. Charles from goal.com.
Just quickly go back to Kieran. I think we were all surprised maybe that he didn't play at the weekend. Did you, in the build-up to the game, did you have to speak to Kieran and kind of explain it? How is it being on the bench at the moment?
It was a tricky one, and after what happened in Anfield and some individual errors that we had, I think we have to be very careful with the messages that we send as well to our players. And I encourage my players to play with courage, to take risks, to make decisions, and to be in the front foot. And when they do that, if for any reason things they don't go our way or somebody makes a mistake, that's where you have to show the trust on the player, because you want to build confidence and resilience. And it's not only for the player that is playing, it's for the player that is not playing to understand that part of that decision is to support. And in their case, if that would happen to them, I would do exactly the same thing. And I think it's something that we have to build. And with young players even more, because if not, they can get very confused.
And Nuno obviously had that difficult game at Anfield. We're at Old Trafford on Thursday night. Are you worried because of the intensity of Old Trafford and the ground, the size, the stature of the place, that something similar could happen for such a young player, or are you confident that you can go there and cope?
Whoever I put in that pitch is because I have full confidence on them.
We're December 1st now, you're outside of the top 4 on goal difference only. You could spend the next month pushing the ownership that when January arrives, a month today, to really kick on and, you know, seize the opportunity that you've given yourself over the first half of the season.
I focus on the players that we have, trying to make them as good as possible, trying to improve the team, and trying to be more and more consistent, play better, and we'll get better results. That's it.
Is it, given the business you did in the summer, though, and the significant financial outlay you did, is it realistic maybe for fans or anyone to expect the club to do any business in January? Significant business?
We are in discussions. We have talks every week about it, how we can improve the team, what things can happen as well in the January transfer window that can affect our squad. As you know, we have certain players with a little bit of uncertainty in the summer, so we have to plan what's going to happen now, what's going to happen in the summer. And a lot had to be done as well. So we know and we don't expect big things happening, but we're going to be very alert in the markets if we can improve the team. And as well, we have to be prepared because things can happen, injuries arise in this period, and you have to be prepared and planned.
Thanks, John.